if he doesn't have, he is allowed to invite other people for his Korban Pesach, for his Korban Chagiga, and the money is chulin shal menaskin ekdish Yisrael pischayim, because that was why it was consecrated, or that was the original condition in the consecration, that you should be able to get some income from this as well. Now, what are we seeing here? That it is possible for him to have something that's consecrated and nevertheless have some rights over it, that he can actually use those rights.
That's on the Rabbi.
It's according to Rabbi.
Yeah, but this was a Mishnah.
This was a Mishnah, and Rabbi at the end, Rabbi Omer, that he can use it even for income, not just for food, but he can use it for any sort of income. And so now he's using it to pay to the Esna.
Why can't we learn that from somebody who owns land from Yerusha, that's Makdashid, and then when it automatically comes back by Yovel, it proves therefore he still retains some sort of right?
And then it doesn't come back by Yovel. But it goes to the Kayan if he doesn't. Stei Achuzah went to a Kayan. Or those other things.
No.
There
so
were certain
he
things
has to redeem it.
Has to redeem it.
But as opposed to anybody else, it does go back to him, which kind of shows that he
But there was by the
some
house.
sort of
Was there
right.
something with the house? The house in the walled city? No, then he had 1 year to redeem it. You're asking, we should learn from that certain things of hektish go back to a person.
They have an extra right inherent, even though it was hektish.
Uh-huh.
And that's the Stei Achuzah. Otherwise, why did he have the right to do it, but a regular person doesn't have any chance of getting it back? Because he doesn't have the right. So we learn from that. Someone who can retain a right, a biblical right within a hektish.
Can a person take a sacrifice and give it to a woman as kedushin? Can you give her say here, I was about to bring an Eily. This is my Eily sacrifice here. I'm giving it to you to Ariat Mikadesh's with this sacrifice.
Is it Eily goes all the way up?
All the way up.
So he's not giving her anything because there's nothing to end up giving her. But if it was a shlomim and they need it, she'd get the value of a meal.
I hear what you're saying. So anyway, what we're doing here is we're giving her the value of the food, right? The food. So that's what, it could be this is a better answer. Because she's actually getting some. Okay, now the Gemara says, Kol ha'asurim legabi mizbeach. We said that the offspring were acceptable. Then we said, Rabbi Lezer says that the offspring of a treifa is not. And then we said, Rabbi Chanina Mentigna says even if it... we'll do this first step at a time. Amar Rav. Anything that's forbidden for the altar, their offspring is permissible. The Tani Alam was taught on that Rabbi Eliezer Reiser. Rabbi Eliezer says it's not permissible. That helps us understand the Mishnah a little bit, because it was Rabbi Eliezer that then went on that said the offspring of a treifa would be more consistent. The offspring of a treifa. And isn't that interesting? The Mishnah it wasn't so clear in the Mishnah that was Rabbi Eliezer opinion. Amar Rav Huna bar Chinena, Amar Rav Nachman. So here we're going to be using Rav Nachman. You see Rav Nachman is over here. Nachman. So now we're going to have under Rav Nachman here, student of Shmuel, we're going to have different opinions of what the machlekes here is between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim. So, machlekes she'ibral b'seif nirvu. The machlekes is if it was pregnant first, and then bestiality was committed with it. And Rabbi Eliezer holds, Rabbi Eliezer savar uba yerechimayu. Rabbi Eliezer says that the fetus is part of the mother, it's one entity, so it's forbidden. Rabbanan savar lab yerechimayu. Rabbanan say it's not part of the mother. Now we're talking about that the sin was committed after the fetus was already there. Aval nirbul b'sefer, but let's say it was the opposite. Let's say first the sin was committed, then it became pregnant. The fetus wasn't there. Divrei kol mutarin. Everyone would agree that it's permissible. It came later. Rava says machlekes kishenir b'seifibra, the opposite. Machlekes is when the sin was committed and then it became pregnant. The Rabbi Lezer says that, look, this embryo is formed from a male and a female. Now, the human, it's not suggesting that the human was part of this.
No, but that's not what sodomy is. The animal wasn't raped, it was sodomized.
Okay.
Sodomy doesn't cause.
No, so one second, I get it. 1 second. What the Gemara is suggesting is that the mother committed a sin that made it forbidden to be used as a sacrifice. There was a male here involved. There was a male here that made the mother now pregnant. Male was a very good animal, never committed any sin. Now, so when we look at the genetics of this animal, we have the mother. That's a horse thief. You have a mother that's a sinful mother, and you have a respectful father, right? Respectable father. So Rabbi Lezer says, "Zev zegorim else." I don't care that there's a father that's a nice animal here. The fact is that the mother is a sinful mother, and the child was formed from a mother that had committed a sin earlier. Even though it's also formed from a father. But he says, Zev zegorim, when I have two things that are causing this, even though one of them is not a problem, but the other one is a problem, it's a problem. In other words, the other one part of this doesn't kosherize the mother's part in this. Rabbanan say, Zev zegorim mutter. The Rabbanan's logic would be, look, without a male here, there wouldn't be no fetus. So who's the cause of this fetus? It's the male. So the male, you can't say that this animal is no good because look, it was the male that formed this animal. Aval ibrul b'seif nirba, but let's say it was pregnant first, and then the sin was committed. Divrei kalasurim. Then the sin was committed together with the embryo, with the fetus there. Then it's forbidden. Rabbi goes according to his logic.
I'm sorry, something's missing here. The original cases we had of sodomy was either we had two cases, right? One sodomized and one sodomying, so to say, right? The one that was sodomized.
We didn't get into this.
But that was talking about an animal?
Yeah.
They were both.
We didn't differentiate here. Both of those animals, whether this or that, whatever part the animal played, it's still forbidden to be offered as a sacrifice. We're not getting into that. We're just saying that there is a mother here. We're using just a mother here. A mother, a female animal that has an offspring, because we're looking at the offspring. And we're saying, is every single case, is the offspring always forbidden? And because we have Rabbi Lezer that says that. So, or do we say that no, the machlekes is only if it was after the sin was committed, after it was already pregnant. Maybe the sin before it was pregnant, there's no machlekes there. It could be because it wasn't involved in the sin, and it comes from the. And you have to look at the father's part in this, the male part, and that was perfectly fine. But Rabbi says, Vlad nirbas asura hi Vlad nirbu. Rabbi holds that the offspring of this animal is forbidden because it and the offspring were committed the sin together. Vlad nagachas asur hi Vlad nagchu. And an animal that kills a man is also the offspring is forbidden because they both together killed a man. Lishnachrina. It's another interpretation here, another version of this. Amrila, Amar Rav Huna bar Chinana. That's who we had before. Amar of Nachman, in the name of Nachman. He says that Machlaikis Shenirbu K'Shehim Mukdashim. It was already consecrated. And it's going to become forbidden now after it's consecrated. We said normally in cases if it was given as a gift, given as a payment, it would not become forbidden now. But here, sin is being committed with the animal. This is a different case. So the Rabbi Lezer Savar Bizi Milsa. Rabbi Lezer says this is a disgrace. Consecrated animal commits the sin. Rabbanan Savri Loi, and say no. It's not it was already consecrated before, and that's not a problem. Aval Nirbuk Shen Chulin, but let's say differently. Let's say it was an animal that was Chulin. Hayol Vishtanu, but then it switched its status. It converted into a sacrifice. So Divrei Kol Mutar, and everyone would agree that that's permissible. It's a new animal here. It's now a holy animal. Rava Amar Rav Nachman. Rava says the name of Rav Nachman. Before we didn't have Rava in the name of Rav Nachman. Now it's Rava in the name of Rav Nachman. Is that possible? It's possible. Rava in the name of Rav Nachman. It's uncommon, but it's Machlaikis Kishenir Bu Kishen Chulin. The Machlaikis is specifically then when the sin was committed, when it was Chulin. The Rabbi Lezer Savar Bizi Milsa. Rabbi Lezer says this is a disgrace to take this animal, consecrate it, and then offer it. Rabbanan Savri Hayel V'Shtanim Mutarim. No, it switched. Aval Nirbuk Shem Mukdashin. But if it was sin was committed after it was consecrated, that's the recollection. Everyone would say that's a disgrace.
What would they say if the consecrated animal then got lost, then came back, and now it's no longer the tzibur? How isn't it a new animal? How could Divrei Hakol still say it's a new animal? It's a new day.
It changed kedusha. That would be an interesting question. It changed from an ashram into an Eily because
We learned a bit.
yeah, that was a complicated question. We had a case in the Besdin of a woman that was involved in some inappropriate business that wanted to convert. And it was like a previous lifestyle, but then the chief rabbi of Israel was here, Rabbi Yosef's son. It was years ago. What's his name? Rabbi? Is it Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef? Anyway, we asked him. He said, "Yeah, but in the secular world, that wasn't considered as inappropriate as we consider it, and she's changing." So here you have an animal when it's chulin. We said, okay, it was chulin. It was chulin. Kachim, that's very inappropriate. That's Bizi Milsa. But by chulin, that's a chulin animal. That's whatever.
What do you expect?
Okay. Vlad Sheifa. This is the statement from Rabbi Eliezer. He said that you can't offer a Vlad Sheifa on the Mizbeach. Now, the offspring of a treifa. This gets a little complicated because we said that what's a treifa? A treifa is the animal that has an illness, so or some sort of health issue. So lemanda mer treifa. Skip the word ena. Lemanda mer treifa yolda. If a treifa can have a child, the issue, the offspring of a treifa. If a treifa can have a child, this was machlekes and chulin. So mishkachasla, then we can find the kein shenitfil b'sei fibra. It was a treifa and it got pregnant, and we want to deal with the offspring. Ubahapliki, and this is the machlekes. Rabbi Lezer savar zevaz a goyer maser. Rabbi Lezer says, I know that the father is healthy, but the mother is a treifa, but it's still prohibited. Rabbanan Savi zevaz a goyer mutter. No, the father is the one that's without the father, nothing would have happened here. So it's the father. That's the one that's causing this, and we have to look at the father. Zevaz a goyer is mutter. Lamanda ma treifa eina. It's supposed to be yeledus. If a treifa cannot have a child, so how do you get an offspring here? So mishkachas again she'ibra l'b'seif nitrifa was pregnant first, then it became a treifa. B'hapligi, and here's the machlekes. Rabbi Lezer savar uber yerach imayu. Rabbi Lezer says that the offspring is part of the mother. The mother's a treifa, the offspring is a treifa. It's one entity, one organism. Rabbanan Savri Uberlav Yerechi Maihu. The Rabbanan say that no, it's not the same. It's not the same organism, and therefore it's permissible. Amar Rav Huna. There must be like more scientific things here, because after a pregnancy, isn't the mother's DNA different because of the offspring of the? There's new DNA that's hanging out. Look it up. There's no change at all. Is it possible even the slightest DNA to change? Of course, it's possible. Someone gets an illness.
Possible, but I've never heard of it.
No, if someone gets a virus, then their DNA is switched a little bit.
It's the same thing with stem cells.
Right.
I mean, we go when we.
So apparently, when the embryo has its own DNA now, right? That hangs around in the mother, and the mother somehow picks up after each pregnancy picks up a new DNA.
I don't know about new DNA, but it's true with Rh positive mothers. You know, if an Rh negative mother, you know, the whole thing about Rogan has a fetus that the father was Rh positive, and then once the baby's born, or if anything there's blood to mother, that's the whole danger. The mother has antibodies that's fighting or whichever way it goes, the fetus. And could
so is that affected by the embryo or affected by the?
It's affected by the fact that there was a marriage between the
but that's,
negative and the positive.
Okay.
It changes something in the mother, the antibodies, but it doesn't change the DNA. But then again, medicine changes every year, so who knows?
Okay.
You also have 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. So let's stop right here. Amar Rav Huna. Sorry, I lost track. Amar Rav Huna. Let's leave it over there.
When it comes to kashrus, Smith, when it comes to kashrus, the embryo is part of the mother, then.
In what?
In kashrus.
In which? In a bird or in a
cow?
In a cow. It is part of the mother, right? It is the fetus, the ben pekua.
Yeah, ben pekua is a freebie, man.
Right, so
freebie.
We do consider the shechita of the child. We do consider the shechita of the mother as a shechita on the child.
So we already also